Oh no, the mug is stuck. Damn it. Hi guys, it's Bill and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're going to be upcycling some broken sublimation inks using CMYK sublimation ink. So let's get started. We are going to be making, we're going to be upcycling some sublimation mugs because I bought these on Amazon and as you can see they turned up broken. So I'm actually going to upcycle them. I contacted Amazon and I got a refund and they said I could keep the mugs. So rather than wasting them, I thought it's better to actually do something different with them. So in the last video, I obviously made these coasters and I was saying that they were based off of some mugs that I had made for people. And what I did is I took sublimation ink that you put in a sublimation printer because this stuff is actually quite cheap. And I mixed up some of the colours. What I did is I sprayed this with isopropyl alcohol and then dabbed on with a cotton bud the sublimation ink, which when it was on gives you this kind of effect. What I've done is I've got an idea for one. So one of my friends works in a repair cafe and originally the idea was that he was going to have a mug, like a circuit board. But unfortunately, his birthday is this week and I'm not going to be able to get any more sublimation mugs or take the risk that they're going to turn up broken again. So obviously these are quite sharp. I don't want anyone to cut themselves on them, myself included. So what I'm going to do is I'll take this off, sand it down as much as I can, and then I've brought some UV resin off of Amazon which should be coming today, and then I'll put the UV resin on there to seal it. I'll get all tidied up and we'll get cracking. Okay, so I have got everything prepared. Now, first thing I need to say is apologies if you can hear works going on. Okay, so they're doing work, so I've closed the top window. Hopefully that will block some of the noise out, but I don't know. So I have got everything prepared. Got some fairy wipes and some tissue. I'm wearing gloves and an old shirt. This stuff is going to stain because after all it is ink. Now what I'm going to do, I'll just move that over there. I'm going to take my yellow and I'm going to give this a good shake. I'm going to pour some in here and pour some blue in there to make the green. So that seems quite green to me. Sometimes what I will do is I will put isopropyl alcohol on there. So for my second one, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to drip the ink on and see what kind of effect we can get. So this is the one where I'm going to use the rub-in alcohol. So and obviously, got some tissue on there. That could be a good look if that's the kind of style you're going for. For me it's not. Right, for the next one I have got a piece of tin foil. Put some try and make a purple. So let's see if we can get something with this. I don't know if we will or not. I mean, it's possible. Obviously, the colours themselves will come out a lot different. So I'm going to try that again. I've made a little tray. I was looking through some of my stuff and I realised that I had all of these coating, hoping these dark areas come out purple. Genuinely won't know until I press them. So to make purple we need red. So let's try that. And then to make a green, let's move that way over there. And before that all spreads too much, push this down. Lift that up. Okay, so that kind of went just as I think I was expecting it to. So we'll let that one dry. Okay, so it's actually now the next day, and what I've done is I've let these dry overnight. So what I'm going to do is this one I'm going to put on a mug along with this one, and these two I'm going to try with the coasters. So what I do need to do is get off all of the vinyl. Now this can be quite tricky, and as you can see on here already it is pulling up some of the paper. So yeah, I can see on here that in some places it's quite saturated, so I feel like that is going to be a bit problematic. But here's the thing, you can see on here, oh, let me get out my coffee, sorry, just knocking everything over. I've actually got coffee in here at the moment so I can't really move it, but you can see on here, this is what happened. The paper started ripping, so in some places you will be able to see it. Here's like a real fine example. That's the whole thing with this technique, is that, you know, it's really not perfect. Okay, so that has now all been taken off, and obviously, like I said, here caused problems, the rest didn't, so we'll call it a damaged circuit board. So this one and these two are going to go on mugs, but before I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these on coasters. So we'll do it like that, I think. Okay, so I have got my coasters, and what I've done is I put them on a piece of baking paper, and then I'm going to put another piece of baking paper, which is double-sided, over the top. But before I do that, what I need to do is I need to connect my heat press and get the temperature right. So I'm going to start new project, transfer material is going to be infusible ink. I just do that, and material t-shirt. So it's going to preheat the blank for 15 seconds, which I'm obviously not going to do. Press for 40 seconds, and it says peel none. So I'm going to put my iPad to one side for a second. I'm going to make sure that that is on there and that those two are together. Now, you definitely need to use baking paper, or I think in America you may call it butcher paper, because you don't want to get the infusible ink transferring on to the bottom of your easy press, because that's kind of annoying. And also as well, do not use anything like wax paper, because it being made of wax, it will heat up. So I'm going to put this over. This is going to go on the side, And I'm going to press start, and I'm going to put down some fan pressure on it as well. Cool. Move that over. And you can see the ink on there is also now a lot brighter than it was before. And just to show you, that is what would end up on the bottom of your easy press, which you obviously don't want. It's probably recommended that you let this cool before you try taking it off, but me being the impatient person that I am, that's one test. So let's get the mug sorted out and see how they turn out. Okay, so that has now beeped, and that means the mug is ready. This is the bit I'm a bit scared about. So let's open that up. Now, what I'm going to try and do is lift that up as best I can. Put this under here. And again, I do not advise you doing this at home. Because it can be dangerous. And now the mug is stuck. Damn it. And we get that out. Okay, so that's out. Yeah, I really genuinely do not advise you to try this at home. Get this off. The tape itself isn't too hot, but I'm very curious to see what this is going to look like. So when you take this off, obviously wear heat protective gloves, which sadly I don't have. But I'm sure you're going to be way more smarter than I am and will have them. Okay, so the mugs have come out, and what I'm doing is I've taped it off and file this down. I've got some water if it gets a bit messy. This is just sandpaper that I got from the local hardware store. It says it's number 60. So what I'm going to do, and this is going to get noisy. Okay, so I have sanded all of that down, and I ended up using moved to 120 grit, which actually worked out better than the 60. It definitely pulls up a load of dust, so I would protect your area or wear a face mask, which is what I ended up doing. And this is the second one. I will got some resin on here. So let's just dry that. And what I will do is I will give that like 10 minutes to fully cure. So there you go, guys. These are now done. All in all, a fantastic little idea, I think. So thank you so much for watching to the end. Please do like, share and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.